Well, that's a yew tree. One way to spot them is in deciduous woodland. These will be one of the only few that still keeps their leaves on. You can see the leaves there. They're not sharp on the ends or anything, they don't prick you. Some of them will have red berries on at certain times of the year. Another good way to tell is if you look underneath the tree, there's not much growing underneath it. But as you come out from underneath it, you notice you've got stuff growing there. Come back underneath the tree and there's nothing underneath it. That's a good way of telling one. Because some people say that this is the tree of death. Others say like the tree of life. Because tree of death, because highly poisonous. But I suppose tree of life because some people say, you see how these branches here are growing, these ones have died, but right the way up, and they're growing down, some of them are, and they've tried to go back into the ground. And what they can do, if they're successful, they can go down into the ground, reroot, and come back out as another tree. But essentially it would be the same tree really. This is quite an old one. This is quite an old yew tree if you ask me. I can't say precisely how old. Just trying to look or think of any distinguishing marks for you to remember the bark by. But I suppose, like I said, one way to remember it would be look for evergreen. Nothing growing underneath them. Potentially branches growing back down into the ground. Sometimes red berries. They often do that as well. You see where it's shooting out. It's doing it down here as well. Shooting out like that. I'm just going to go over to a different one and show you it. There's another one. See the same thing. So you've got all these stinging nettles coming up. When you actually get directly underneath the tree, there's nothing growing underneath it. Some people say that's because they poison the ground, but it could just be the canopy, stops anything growing. I suppose you don't really need to tell this tree by the bark, because the leaves are always going to be on it, growing out each side, side by side. Slightly lighter on the back side, and some of them look as though they have a line going down the middle. Unless they're dead, these will always have their leaves on them. Whereas some other trees, like if you're looking for the ash tree, you really need to look for the bark. Anyway, that's the yew tree. I suppose that's my way of remembering them. People say that the best bow woods are from like Spanish yews, but even an English yew will make a far superior bow to any wood I've ever tried in England. So that's the yew tree. pretty old one. Right, cheers for watching, and I'll see you later.